Hi, it's Stephen Molnar here, and I'm joined by Cameron Fisher, who's the CEO and founder of Changing Places Real Estate, one of the expert team members that Investors Prime has. Cameron, just wanted to ask you, sometimes potential landlords judge a real estate agency by their fees. So can you tell us a bit about what are the downsides of just using that as a single way of judging who the best agency to go with is?
In relation to property management, we do get people who will come to us and say, can you drop the fee from 7.7% to say 6.6%? You've got to look at what's involved with that. The difference between 7.7 and 6.6% is just marginal. For example, on a property of $400 a week, that's just $1 in every 100, so it's $4 a week difference between an agent charging 7.7 and charging 6.6. So for a saving of $4 a week though, the difference can be significant. Quite often an agent that will drop their fees is one that looks after far more properties. So instead of an agent's typically with Changing Places, for example, looking after say 100 properties, with other agencies they might be looking after 150 to 250 properties, right. Because they need to do that to justify the low fees. But the problem with that is that as property managers have more properties to look after, they then have far more responsibility and far more work to do. And what you see then is that things get missed. So you may not follow up as quickly on rent arrears, you may not follow up as quickly on periodic inspections to see who's living in the property to make sure the property is being looked after. Again, maintenance issues may not be looked at as quickly as possible, and that can lead to maintenance problems becoming worse and in the end costing you more money. Properties could end up being vacant for much longer periods of time, which could cost you $400 a week for every additional week that the property is vacant. So all of those things come into effect where you may find that in the end you might have saved your $4 a week, but it's cost you many thousands of dollars in extra costs with vacancies, maintenance issues, etc. Also, you'll find that in that situation, a property manager who's got too many properties to handle won't be as thorough in their tenant checks. And we've had some very strong examples of this in the past where we had a development in Bond Beach whereby we managed 11 of the 12 townhouses. One of the townhouses was managed by another agent. We had an applicant from a tenant who looked good on paper and seemed to be okay. We then did really thorough checks, as we always do, to find out far more information about the tenant. And what we found is that the tenant had a order against him from a previous neighbour, had been dealing in drugs previously.
Oh, it's serious, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we also asked their reference, would you let that property to them, or would you let your own home to them? And they said no, so that wasn't a very good
reference. So their own friend
at all.
Wouldn't let them their own property?
Absolutely. And then what happened was we were down doing inspections, and the other agent who had just the one property had said to us, well, we've let our property, we've let it really quickly and we got a great rent. And we said, well done, that's good. Who did you let it to? And they told us the gentleman, and it happened to be the person that we rejected. And then what happened down the track, that gentleman left owing over $2,500 in unpaid rent, had caused enormous damage and really upset a lot of the other tenants in the development. So it's just so crucial that thorough checks are done. And again, if a property manager is looking after too many properties, they can't give that level of service and that attention to detail. It's just not there.
That's very good. Thanks for that, Cameron. That's excellent advice.
Thank you.
Cheers.